What is up? Hope everybody is good on this beautiful Thursday. Not going to do a lot tonight. Just going to talk about tariffs because that's obviously a big deal. It is interesting and it's an experiment. And it's a negotiation tool. It's a lot of things. That's for damn sure. I think we all recognize that. The thing that makes me and the way that I titled this is Trump's big gamble isn't on tariffs, it's on us. And I'll tell you why it's on us, because we consume the shit out of stuff. We became a consumer-based nation. We're addicted to cheap goods. I mean, we are addicted to cheap goods. We want $2 socks, right? We go into a store, go into a Target or go into anywhere, and we're like, oh, well, look at this. How much is this? Here, let's get on the phone. Can I get it at Amazon for cheaper? It's what we do. We're addicted to cheap goods. The gamble that Trump is taking is that we're going to get off those cheap goods. This is an intervention in some ways, except politics are involved in this intervention, right? So could you imagine that TV show Intervention and you're there and you're like, dear Johnny, you're really good and I love you and you've been bad and now you should probably go into therapy and get yourself well. And then off you go to drug therapy and you think it's going to go well. The difference between this and that, though, is in the politics world that we're living in right now. If you had people pressing you and you felt uncomfortable, you're like, I got to go get Johnny out of therapy because, politically it's not good for me. That's the difference in this. He's gambling on us, America, that we're going to fix this addiction to cheap goods. And my God, do we love cheap goods. We love the crap out of cheap goods. We enjoy cheap goods. Stock them deep and sell them cheap. And that is an issue. Our addiction is cheap crap from China, from anywhere we can get our hands on it. And so if we worry that that's going to go away in this hope and dream of manufacturing and all this stuff coming back, sorry, it is a tough time for us in this country. We've got inflation, we have all these struggles going on when it comes to money and this talk about, now we're going to make wealthy again. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. These countries are going to give in. It's going to be great. We're going to start manufacturing. We ain't manufacturing crap here. We're not. Not if it costs us more money. You know how long it takes to open something? Forever and a day. Manufacturing, we act like we're going to flip a switch and it's all going to come on and we're just going to wait. We're going to be patient to get our cheap goods. No, we're still going to price check. We're still going to look around. We're still going to look for the lowest, cheapest deal. That's kind of what we become accustomed to. And it's a frustrating thing that we are addicted to that. But somewhere along the road, we decided, you know what? Let's export ideas and import cheap shit. You're like, oh, yeah, it's a good idea. And that's what we've done. So we became a consumer-based nation. We consume. The stuff we do export is services, like it's software. It's a bunch of stuff that is not the trade-like stuff of the goods. And that's what we like. I mean, I got to be honest, man, I'm wearing cool shoes. I ordered them 2 days ago, and they came later that day, and they're like $23. I was like, these are great. We're all a part of the problem. We need Ozempic, right? For addiction to cheap goods. But we live in a world of politics. And how is this going to play out? Because as you and I and everybody knows, this will go for as long as it can till you realize you might pay the price at the ballot box. For Trump, even though he joked around, and I do think it was more of a going to piss people off third term BS, the reality of seeing the Democrats kick really the GOP in the nuts in the next midterms and him having 2 years of having to face off with Adam Schiff and the likes, it's something he doesn't want. It isn't. So not only are you trying to fix a problem that you see, and let's be real, there are some of these issues that we've had for quite a long time, and we've allowed it because we're so rich, because we're so prosperous, because of all of the things that we have at our fingertips, and we've had a currency that is in reserves across the globe, because we have a lot of different things going for us. We're able to, for the most part, live in a world of consumption and exporting ideas, and we've gotten accustomed to it. And that's what we're doing. Now you're asking us to go cold turkey in some ways, and hopes that there's going to be a factory. By the way, the whole, like, we're bringing manufacturing. This is Howard Lutnick talking today about the manufacturing side of things.
Well,
now it's coming back. And this is going to be great for America.
He's been talking about for 35 years. He said, we've been ripped off. You can go find video of him from 1988 on Oprah talking about how we're being ripped off. He finally gets to stand up for American workers, stand up for America, bring the factories back home, and get rid of this national emergency called our trade deficit, which is outrageous.
It is outrageous in some cases, but that's on us. Again, we like to consume. But this thought that we're going to bring back a factory, it isn't, that it's going to be like the 50s and 60s again, where dad's walking in because the whistle just went off and he's got his, here he comes with his lunch pail and, oh, kids, here comes dad. That isn't happening. Hell, we can't get people to work in regular office jobs. You think they're going to work there? And there's no promise that those jobs would even go to human beings. And that's if we started to really, we're going to onshore manufacturing. Great, let's onshore manufacturing. How long is it going to take? 5 to 10 years to build up these things. And as an investor, are you going to throw money at something where you think, well, these tariffs may go away next week because, Trump may say, well, we've negotiated over here. We're going to take these away. We're going to negotiate over here. We're going to take these away. So these are all part of a ploy to get some stuff done. And the China thing, I think, is a little bit more real. That's a battle, but that's also geopolitical, national interest when it comes to potential of national security. I understand some of that stuff. I think we all do. But you're also asking us to do something that we're not good at. In a TikTok society, we aren't good with waiting around. We're not good for, hey, this is going to be great for us long term. That sounds awesome. What do you mean long term? You mean like 3 to 6 weeks? No, like 3 to 6 years. Yeah, I don't have that kind of time. I'm not waiting that long. Even if we started to keep these things on, and I don't think a lot of them are going to be on for very long, but even if we did, the costs are going to rise. Our consumption is going to go down. Prices, again, as they're rising, your wages aren't going to be rising. So you're going to have this giant inflationary nightmare and the pressure that's going to be on the president and the likes of Congress, because they're going to look at, Congress, because the president, he ain't going anywhere. He's got his 3 years, 10 months left. He's not going anywhere. Everybody else is up for a job next year, and they're going to be looking, going, hey, why aren't you doing something about this? Now, we do consume too much. We do buy too much cheap shit. We've got to figure this stuff out. We do. We need to do better across the board. There's no doubt about that. The haves and the have-nots have grown. We need to build the middle class. Is this the way to do it? I don't think so. And this dream of, again, of onshoring all of this stuff in a timely manner. I looked today and I broke down how long it would take to actually put together an iPhone here, what the cost would be, and when they could deliver the first iPhone. 5 to 7 years of a made in America kind of iPhone, where you've got the parts, the whole 9 yards, all done here. That's a long time to wait. This is the issue. We want it now. We want you to stock it deep and sell it cheap. And we don't care where it comes from. You want to. I mean, I want to know that it came from America. I want to know that it came from someplace where the workers are treated fairly. It sounds nice to say, but the reality is, it's like, it was $3 for that? How much is it over there? 27? Yeah, I'll do the one that's 3. We don't think about things like that. Our consumption is going to be the biggest issue that Trump is going to have to deal with, our impatience and our consumption. You're trying to train Americans to have patience, and to want to put their wallets away when it comes to cheaper goods and look for American brands and push for that. This is John Kennedy, arguably one of the funniest people in politics, if not the funniest.
America is rich. We buy a lot of stuff. President Trump is saying that if you American business or you foreign businesses want to sell in America, then move your business here and hire American workers. That's a laudable goal, and I support it. It'll work long term. But as you mentioned, in the long term, we're dead. Short term matters. And the truth is, nobody knows what the impact of these tariffs are going to be, Bill. I listened to my friend on another network, Willie Geist, this morning, predict raging inflation. Now, I know Mr. Geist is smart and well-educated because he went to Vanderbilt. But that's just a wag. That's a wild-ass guess. China has huge trade barriers. They don't have inflation. They've got deflation. India has a lot of trade barriers. They don't have raging inflation. We'll know more in the next couple of months. If you want a surefire investment, go book as many rooms as you can at the Hay Adams Hotel across from the White House, because every foreign trade representative is going to be coming to America to meet with the Trump administration, try to negotiate. So it'll be 3 or 4 months before we know what the final tariffs are going to be.
And that's spot on. So the thought of bringing stuff home, and we're going to onshore it again, and we're going to have all these things, and these great manufacturing deals are going to be done, probably not going to happen. The battle with China, that is something that may go on for quite a while. There's a lot to this, but uncertainty the markets don't like. And as John Kennedy said, there is something I have said for quite a while. You get a finite amount of time. And, you know, you want us to have a full tank of air for an hour and a half in the ocean. And that sounds great. The problem is it's maybe 2 hours to the surface, if you will, and we may not make it. So you better figure something out before we go all the way down. And this is going to be a tough thing in the coming days, weeks, and months, because there's uncertainty. There's a potential for chaos. And what happens, and we've not talked about this in any real way, even on my radio show, of let's just say Europe says, you know what? We've had enough of this crap. Fine, if you want to tariff us, we'll tariff you back. And China and all of them decide, you've taken on a lot of fronts here, so let's see what's going to happen. That's a big gamble. You're gambling on that not happening and everybody coming to us and saying, we want into your market. What do we have to do? And you're also gambling on us going, you know what? I can wait a while to buy homemade American socks. I can wait a while to buy some goods that are made right here. I don't need the cheap stuff. And I'll tell you, live out here in Nashville, got a nice apartment. When I walk to go to work in the morning, you know what I see? Amazon boxes in front of everybody's door. That's not all expensive stuff. How long will this last? I don't know. Is this going to be something that could hurt the Republicans in the future? Absolutely. Is it something that could be an absolute push? Yeah. Is it something that could be a win? It's possible. I want us to win. Who doesn't want America to win? That's stupid. You should absolutely want America to win. But the reality is, not only are you betting on tariffs and the reaction of the Chinese, Vietnam, the Penguins, because, he was at McDonald in some island that's like part of Australia that's only inhabited by penguins. We're tariffing them, as we should. Sons of bitches. But you're really betting also on us, and that we'll have patience, and that we'll feel like this is for the betterment of us. And yes, it's going to be great, and we're willing to stick with you. People stick with it as long as they can. And that includes financially, not just the patient side of it. If life gets too expensive, you start looking for another route. And that includes politics. And they're not going to be looking at the president. They're going to be looking at their local politicians saying, why is my life more expensive? I thought that wasn't going to happen. And then what happens is they change teams. And And as I remember earlier today, watching Rand Paul talk about the fact that last time they did something big like this, Republicans struggled for 60 years to win back the House and the Senate. That's a long time. I don't think it's going to be like that again, but definitely tons of uncertainty. We've got to figure out, are we a TikTok consumer-based society that's willing to go to the mat if the president asks us? Or are we hoping it ends in a couple weeks and we get back to buying crap? We'll see. I have a feeling it's more the latter, but you never know. You never know. And with Trump, this stuff could all disappear tomorrow as well. You just never know. You guys have a blessed rest of your night. I'm going to go take a little bit of a nap because out here in Nashville, we've got lots of storms coming and there's a chance for, well, tornadoes. And that, quite frankly, that just sucks. Follow along tomorrow with me, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific, 9 to noon East Coast radio. Go to ChadBensonShow.com. You can check out all of our stuff, our videos and whatnot. And if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. It helps us out here. Grab the podcast and find out where you can listen to me live on the radio. You guys have a blessed rest of your night. And